Welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, the weekend was excellent. I just invested the time reorganizing my new room, which has become a studio. So things will start looking much better out here. And I have more space to move around. So that's a good thing. Now, I'm taking a quick look at our dashboard out here. And my commentary is that the fear and greed index has ticked up by around 2 points and it's almost at 71. So we are edging slowly into extreme greed. We have been creeping upwards. And that's notable given the volatility brewing under the surface. And a major move overnight was that Moody's finally downgraded the US credit rating. For context, S&P cut it in 2011, Fitch in 2023, but Moody's had held steady since 1919 when they gave the AAA rating. And I think Scott Bessent called Moody's a lagging indicator. And I'm thinking it's probably because they have been very patient. What Scott Bessent was trying to imply was that was of the past. And right now, we are back into good books. That's what I think he probably meant when he made the statement. Anyway, the market reaction as expected, I think Dow futures dropped nearly 300 points. The 30-year treasury yield jumped above 5%, while the 10-year hit 4.5%. And I'm going to show that to you in the TradingView platform when we look at the futures. Even the US dollar is under pressure. And the 2-year by 10 years yield spread was at 0.56 when I last saw it before starting this live stream. And it's firmly back above the 0.5%, a classic recessionary signal. All major index futures are deep in the red heading into the open, as you can see in the dashboard out here. I think that this will force a market reaction from White House. Will they intervene or attempt to reassure investors? There could be some flashy announcement. We have to watch out for that because that's what creates the volatility, the ups and downs and good news and bad news. In trade news, Trump told Walmart to eat the tariffs, a stark departure from both traditional conservative and democratic economic principles. If Walmart can't absorb the cost, it might prune its product lines. It may put pressure on the supply chain and try to reduce a few points. And worst case, it may close a few stores. If this is tough for Walmart, imagine what it will be for smaller retailers. Already in the media, we are having reports from smaller retailers talking about how they are in a very bad situation. Because if they want to buy for Christmas, they have to buy now. But if they buy now and the tariffs are reduced later on, then they will lose out big time. So they are paralyzed. They can't make a decision. So this is what is happening out there. Small business is the backbone of America. So it's a very difficult situation. However, there's a silver lining. NVDA announced NVLink Fusion, which lets customers integrate non-NVIDIA GPUs and GPUs into AI architecture while still using NVIDIA's NVLink tech. And CEO Jensen Huang said it's about semi-custom AI infrastructure, not just chips. Analysts think this make NVIDIA's offering more competitive as custom AI solutions evolve. So any company that had built an infrastructure on non-NVIDIA chips can now look forward to a path whereby they can integrate slowly into NVIDIA. So of course they cannot replace the NVIDIA chips into their infrastructure right away because the older non-NVIDIA chips do not have the NVLink. However, Qualcomm is the first to launch, to come out with a press release saying that it's launching its own data center CPU with integration support for NVIDIA's GPU and software. And they are trying to diversify and grab a foothold in the AI data center space, which is still NVIDIA's turf. So if any clients had created an infrastructure using Qualcomm chips, they can upgrade to the latest Qualcomm chips, and then they will be able to get a gateway into NVIDIA chips because of the NVLink factor. And that's going to give a boost for everyone. I'm expecting AMD also to come up with some announcement, and those kind of things can enable the other semiconductor companies to come up. This should prove to be a positive catalyst for semiconductor stocks today, but we have to see how the impact of the downgrade from Moody's is going to shape up. In the past, when downgrades have happened, they have impacted the market at the most for 3 or 4 days, and then the market has gone up again. But this time it's slightly different because we are also having dilution of institutions and a lot of uncertainty with the tariff policy. So this could be different, but one never knows. Now, that said, I think it's time for us to go into the trading view setup and check out how S&P futures are shaping up ahead for the trading day. So let's go on and have a look at S&P 500 first. S&P 500 is down 1.15% in pre-market actions. And our resistance is going to be 5996.25, and our support is going to be the 9-day exponential moving average, which is at 5845.74. And today I would say that if that fails, then our next support is this minor line of support at 5838. So these are the two supports. Momentum has dropped and MACD is moving towards the signal line. We have yet to see what's going to happen when the market opens. Looking at the pre-market action, I would say the momentum is moving very close to the 50% section. And I think the MACD might move down a notch. That said, same is the story with NASDAQ futures. Now, this line of support, which was somewhere around 21,287.25, has now become a line of resistance. And in pre-market, we are already below that. And our support for today is going to be the 9-day exponential, which is at 19, which is around 20,931. That's our first support. And the second support is this dynamic line of support here, which is going to be at around 20,740 for today. That said, look at the dollar index. It's come down. It's way below this horizontal line of resistance, which is at 100.882. And we have a support for it somewhere around 99.274. We are heading towards that direction. In pre-market trades, we are already down 0.71%. Now let's look at our 10-year yield. The 10-year yield is up, and as you know, we have this target here for 4.750. But look at 20-year yield; it's at 5.084, and if you look at the 30-year yield, it's at 5.025. So these are already above the 5%. And out here, for the 30-year, we had a target of around 5.075, and we are inching closer towards it. And if you look at the 20-year also, you have this cup and handle shape out here. So I'm just going to take this line out here to project where we could be. We have a potential of going all the way to 5.082 with the 20-year yield. All of this means that the US bonds are not as much in demand right now. Now you go to indicators and see where we left it in the previous session. I think our resistance continues to be 5,992.39, and our support is going to be 5,884.50 onwards, going all the way up to 5,836.79. We could stop anywhere in between this today because it's a huge area of support for S&P 500. And our NASDAQ NASDAQ index ended up at 21,427.94 in our last trading session. And we had this huge area of support available for us. And it's going to continue to perform the role of a support today. And if we open above this, then 21,371.94 will continue to be a support all the way up to 21,264.18. If we just go on and have a quick look at the futures and see where NASDAQ is, NASDAQ is at 21,168. 21,168 takes us slightly above this green area. So I think it's safe to say that this entire shaded area is going to be the support for today. That said, let's go on and have a look at VIX. VIX has jumped up 12.23%, and that takes us across to the 9-day exponential moving average. And it's a steep jump from the previous day, and we are still below 20, so that's good. But we'll have to see what happens when the market opens, when people start reacting to it. Is it going to be a smoothing of all the curves, or is it going to be a ignition of a lot of fear and volatility? We'll have to check that when the market opens. And true to form, gold has gone up 1.36%. I think gold is going to bounce off this line and start moving towards this horizontal line of resistance, which is at 3,426.954. I think it will be a good time to buy gold and do a bit of hedge. This is my personal opinion, of course, not financial advice. That said, I'm going to move on to to AI. And in AI, we have got NVDA. NVIDIA, despite that news, is down 2.81% in pre-market sessions, and RSI is overbought, and MACD is moving towards the signal line. So because RSI is overbought, anyway, we should have had some consolidation. And if NVIDIA had probably timed the news maybe 2 days down the line, probably that could have helped, I suppose, but we'll never know. But as for this morning, I think our resistance is going to be 139.91 and our support is going to be 128.68. Right now we are at 131.57. That's a steep drop from where we closed yesterday. Now we come to Meta. Meta is down 1.62% and our support is going to be at 630.40, but unfortunately for us, we are already below that. We are at 629.97 in pre-market trades. So I'm going to reluctantly mark this as a resistance. Our support for today, the first support is 625.66, which is the 9-day exponential moving average. Our second support is going to be 601.51, which is a minor line of support. Our resistance is going to be 629.99 for today. If we break above that, then the next resistance is 655.99. And let's go on to look at Google. Google is down 1.72% in pre-market trades, and our support is going to be around 164.57, and we are just below that in pre-market trades at 164.55. So I'm going to leave the support as it is. This is the first line of support. And our second line of support is the 9-day exponential, which is at 162.88, and the 20-day exponential at 161.39. If we break down below that, then I think we have support today at around 160.39. So these are the various levels of supports that we have. Our minor line of resistance at 167.28 is still going to be in effect. And also we have a resistance at 169.16, which is the next resistance. We have a wider range today because the VIX is spurting around 12%. That means that we have a wider range of possibilities today. Our MACD is still bullish out here for Google, and momentum is just above average, and we'll have to see what happens when the market opens. But personally, I feel that Google should weather this better than the other Mag 7s because Google is fairly priced as compared to others, and it's also doing pretty good. Overall, I think Google will do better today. Amazon is down 1.94% in pre-market trades. It has got the tariff issues also weighing it. And we will have support from the 9-day exponential at 201.40. Pre-market we are at 201.61. If the 9-day exponential fails, then the next support is at 201. And that's the diagonal line of support, which is a dynamic support. And if all that fails, then we still have support at 195.74. Our resistance for today is going to be 207.87. I'm marking it red. And if that breaks, then we have a resistance at 210.95. So that's also another thing that I'm marking off. And I think that more of supports will be tested today than resistance, given the way the market is shaping up. Apple is down 1.47%, and there's a pressure from Trump on Apple to not to manufacture in India. And if they can't do it in China because of high tariffs, then where can Apple go? Trump is probably forgetting that Apple is an international company. It has to sell in various markets. If there is tariffs in US, other companies will do reciprocal tariffs. And therefore, it is advantageous for Apple to manufacture iPhones in India, to sell in India, to manufacture in China, to sell in China. Because intercountry also there is going to be tariffs. So that is a thing that Tim Cook has to navigate. And I think Tim Cook has said that he has to manufacture in India. We'll have to see how Trump reacts to that. And if he's going to come up with something specific to Apple, then that's going to destroy Apple and its share price. We'll see what happens because all these blue chip companies are facing extreme pressure due to Trump's policies. Trump has personally bankrupted his casinos and all of his businesses, but at this point of time, we'll have to see if he's capable of bankrupting United States. But he's moving in that direction, in my personal opinion, as a retail investor sitting in Canada. So I would like to hear your comments, especially if you're an American. Put this in the comment section so that I can understand how you view it and how this is being received in the United States. Now let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft is down 0.79%. Again, Microsoft is also a good company, but it has a huge gap up out here. I have already shorted Microsoft, so I'm looking at this cautiously, whether Microsoft is going to move downwards. My Microsoft short is in negative. So that's the problem for me. And I have a long on Amazon, which is also in severe negative. I've held it for a long period of time. So I want to see what happens out there. I might probably sell my longs and stay with my shorts. I'll have to take that decision on Amazon. But I think Microsoft has got support today at 447.96. And it's got resistance at 454.65. I'm just quickly checking my comment section to see if my audio is still on. NTLA 2-year phase 1 data is all positive. Thanks, Hot Dog. I'll check that out and probably make a video on that for our genomics audience. Thank you so much for that information. Next, I'm going on to continue with Tesla. Tesla is down 3.79%. Support today is going to be 329.47. Resistance is going to be 362.34. Oracle is up 0.68% as of Friday, but pre-market trade, it's down 1.57%. It's at 157.97. Therefore, our first support is going to be 157.40. Second support is the 9-day exponential sitting at 156.05. And our minor line of resistance is going to be 162.30. Next, AMD. AMD is down 2.30%. AMD should probably announce a V-Link announcement. If it doesn't do that, it will suffer even more. So we are looking for that V-Link announcement, and I'm hoping that it happens very quickly. Our support is going to be 114.55, but unfortunately we have just slipped below that to 114.46 during our pre-market session. So I'm going to leave this as a tentative support. Our next support is the 9-day exponential sitting at around 109.82. That's our first line of support. And our resistance is going to be 125.20, assuming we open above 115.02. SMCI is down 3.84% in pre-market trades. Our support is going to be 42.74. Right now, we are at 44.38. Therefore, our resistance is going to be 50.21. That said, Broadcom is down 2.83% in pre-market trades. Minor line of support, 9-day exponential at 220.34 is going to be our first support today. And the second support today is going to be 219.20. Right now, we are at 222.23, down 2.79% in pre-market trades. Our minor line of resistance is at 227.33 for today. Then let's look at Palantir. Palantir is down 4.19% in pre-market trade. That takes it to 122.09, 129.09. And we have a line of support at 124.49 from Friday, which now becomes a line of resistance. So this is the first line of resistance for Palantir. And then the supports start from to 123.51, which is the 9-day exponential, followed by 115.30, which is the 20-day exponential that you see out here. So those are the two supports for Palantir. SMH, which is semiconductor ETF, is down 2.08%. Our support for today is the 9-day exponential at 236.24, which is this red line that you see out here. And our resistance is going to be 251.42. That's our minor line of resistance. And that's the range I think we are going to move in today. I have ignored this minor line of support out here because the pre-market price is fluctuating around that. So I'm going to leave it for when the market opens. If we open below this, then this becomes a resistance. If we open above this, then this becomes a support. Now let's look at Tempus AI for our friend Hot Dog. Tempus AI is down 5.27%, and our support today is going to be somewhere around 59.56 and 59.08, because that's where we have this diagonal line of support and horizontal line of support. Those are the two supports. The 9-day exponential has become a resistance at 62.26, and our pre-market price is around 62.13 right now. So that's the range for Tempus AI. My friends, that brings me to an end of today's session. And I would like to wish you all a very good day. And if you have any ticker you want me to analyze, please let me know, or else I'm winding up today's session, going for my breakfast, and I'll be back to do my trading. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.